This is Sam.
This is Dakota.
And this is
High Cognition.
Ooh.
So this week's episode is about
Wedding drama.
Yes, it is.
Getting married, weddings, and marriage.
Yeah.
Love and marriage.
So it's just about everything
There's the
revolving
coffee, right?
marriage. Before, during, after, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Take it away,
It
beautiful
can be family,
wife,
it can
Sam.
be directly involved with the peoples. This first story is from r/best of Redditor updates. And it's called, Am I the asshole for asking my stepbrother to take eggs off the menu at his own wedding?
Yes.
This is a throwaway account. I don't give a shit. Oh, wait. Trigger warnings. Ableism, but it probably is just food allergy. So I don't count that. That's not real disability. My stepbrother and his fiancée are getting married soon. It's a destination wedding, and the destination is very hot. For some background, my stepbrother and his fiancée met at the gym 7 years ago. They didn't start going out until about a year into their friendship and finally got engaged during the summer. No one on this ever sub uses punctuation.
No, they do not.
They met through a mutual love for the gym. God, I could never date someone who wanted to go to the gym like that, dude. I'd rather kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
They met through a mutual love for the gym, and with that comes in for a mutual love of protein. Here's the problem. I am allergic to a majority of animal protein. Seafood and eggs mostly. I'm a little bit of a picky eater, but I believe that is my own problem, so I don't let that part affect other people. Now, I have known my stepbrother since I was 4. Obviously, I have lived with him for many years, babysat him, drove him everywhere. I'm 7 years older than him, and we see each other as if we're blood related. For his wedding, I have done a lot of planning with them because I had a wedding myself, so I know how it goes.
Oh, yeah.
For their wedding, they chose a beach, and the wedding will start before sunrise, so they can have the sunrise while the ceremony happens. It's super cute.
I would not be happy about getting up that
I
fucking
know,
early.
dude. I looked at the menu, and there will be literally nothing I can eat. For breakfast, eggs Benedict on top of some sort of potato patty
sounds so good.
with either herbs or mushrooms on top.
Mm.
There will also be a seafood bar throughout the day.
Ew.
And, of course, an alcoholic beverage bar. Well, there's something.
I like tuna, but...
I like salmon. But
Salmon's
I doubt they'll have
okay
that at
to
a
me.
seafood bar.
It depends on how it's cooked, honestly.
I understand. I love it smoked. Anyways.
I guess I'm kind of like a cat, because I love canned tuna mixed with mayo, so...
You are like a cat.
Yeah. Meow.
They hired a caterer to do all this, and the request for substitutions I have to go through my stepbrother first, which is a no-brainer. I have nothing against that. When I found out the plans for the food, I asked if I could have one substitute meal, and he said no. I offered to pay for it, and he said no, because I would feel so guilty if I made you pay for your own meal at the wedding. Or something like that.
So then
so
have
she can't eat. So she just can't eat.
Okay, yeah, I take that back. That's a fucking cunt bag right there.
Wait, that's weird.
He just asked for... Because by the title, I thought he was like, you can't have eggs at all. But him being like, can you have one thing?
No,
for
literally.
Me? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Literally. To be honest, I'd rather pay for my own food than die.
Yeah.
I think most people would.
And I've heard stories where the catering gets it wrong or mixes it up or cross-contaminates things.
Yeah.
So then, like, I wouldn't want to risk an allergic reaction
that's
anyways.
Completely fair. There's no fast food places around. My hotel doesn't start serving food until 8, and I will be at the wedding still. I don't and literally can't go the whole day without food because I am disabled. I have a connective tissue disorder, and there are a lot of symptoms that come with it, and I need to eat or else I will get very sick.
So that was why the ableism.
Yeah. I understand why he might be upset by me asking for my own meal because growing up, I was too picky with my food, but now I try to eat the best what I can. Eggs give me a rash and the shits. Seafood gives me anaphylaxis.
Yeah, stay away from those.
But only when I eat it, so I can still touch it and be fine. It's kind of a mild allergy, but I'll still die if I'm left untreated. Also, a mild allergy can turn into deadly anytime.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, that's why, like, if you have anaphylaxis shock or whatever, and you use the EpiPen, you still have to go to the emergency room.
Yes.
Like, do you remember? I don't remember if it was read on Smosh or if it was Two Hot Takes, but I'm pretty sure it was Smosh. This dude was having an affair with his coworker, and she had a severe allergy to something, and he had to be home at a certain time because he was cheating on his wife, so he had to go back to his wife because he was pretending to do something else.
Yeah.
And she had anaphylaxis and got the EpiPen, and she asked him to take her, like, if he could take her to the hospital, like, just drop her off at the hospital, and then even just drop her off. And he said, no, I have to go home.
Oh my god.
Like, I'll drop you off at home, and then you can call your friend or something.
Oh my god.
And so she didn't end up going, and she died.
Oh my god.
And he had sent her messages angry. He's like, oh, so you're not going to talk to me all weekend? Blah, blah, blah. And then when he went back to work, that's how he found out, because he was a coworker. And then everything came out because it was, yeah.
That is so scary. I never heard of that. My god, that is evil.
Yeah.
Sucks that she took the bread. I mean, not that she probably knew she was helping someone cheat, but still, she didn't deserve that by any means.
No.
Having an alternative or just replacing the eggs with something else would make my life so much easier.
Yeah.
My husband is on my side, obviously, but the rest of my family, while still concerned about my allergies, thinks I should just suck it up. So am I the asshole for asking my stepbrother to take eggs off the menu at his wedding? Here's the thing. I feel like that's a misleading title, because they're not asking eggs to be taken off. They're asking for, like, a small alternative or something.
For you. Yeah.
Edit, there are hors d'oeuvres at the wedding that do not have seafood in them. My options are pickles and spinach dip with cheese and with crackers. There's also cream cheese, but they're obviously going to share with everyone. And to be honest, you probably can't just live off of that.
And with how hot it is, pickles and
oh my god, yes, I didn't think about that.
That will not be good for your tummy.
After making the original post, I talked to my aunt who is going to the wedding. She has a dairy allergy. I asked her if she had talked to them about food at the wedding, and she had said that they were fairly understanding, and explained to her that only part of the food she might have to substitute would be the hollandaise sauce, and she would just not eat cream cheese from the hors d'oeuvres, and butter for any seafood is on the side. They were fully supportive in giving her the substitutions she needed. So confused me gave my aunt the rundown on what I had experienced, and she was just as puzzled as I was. Today I had a sit-down conversation with him and asked about the food situation. I asked him why he said no about the substitutions, and he wouldn't give me a straight answer. I asked why everyone else who wanted substitutions got them. Again, he would not give me a straight answer.
I don't like that.
But when I brought up paying for my own substitutions, did he talk? He said that the whole not wanting to let me pay for my own substitutions thing was just a misunderstanding. He thought that I meant I wanted to pay for everyone's substitutions. I would be fine with that if this was something I had to do, by the way. You shouldn't be it.
No, and bullshit for that guy.
Yeah, no, literally.
Did not think that.
No, but he didn't want me doing that. Of course I understand. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't believe him. The last question I had asked was, if accommodations were available, why was I the only person being told no?
Mm-hmm.
I told him that I'd talked to our aunt, and I knew that her food substitution was granted. He then danced around that topic as well, saying stuff like, well, Auntie, she gets anything she wants. That's just how she is. Basically making a joke about our aunt being a Karen, not my favorite thing to hear. Finally, I just said I would be more than happy to talk to the caterer myself if that was necessary. That's when he got quiet. Then he asked me not to contact the caterer. I was so confused, and I still am. The more I pushed for answers, the more uncomfortable he became. Finally, after about 5 minutes of going in circles, he admitted that he knew substitutions were possible. Apparently, the caterer had offered allergy accommodations, which is what my aunt told me as well. Not only that, but several guests had already requested modifications to their meals. That's when things got even weirder. He told me that his fiance had specifically mentioned me when they were getting ready, or when they were discussing dietary restrictions. Apparently, she thought my dietary restrictions were annoying. He said that he tried to convince her that it wasn't a big deal, and that she shut down any further conversation about it. I told him that I have medical needs and I can't be in the heat without food. Therefore, I don't feel comfortable attending.
Yeah, do not go to that wedding. They are trying to kill you.
Yeah, he got really frantic and said he'll talk to her. I told him I was going to talk to her anyways.
Yeah, bitch.
He got weird about that too. I also made sure that he knew that even if I wasn't going, I would still continue to help with the planning, which didn't really calm him down. I just left after that. Wow, you're too nice.
Yeah, I would not have.
This situation is getting weirder and weirder. I'm going to talk to his fiance next, probably tomorrow, but for now, the saga continues, I guess. New update. I called her and we had an odd conversation. I asked if I could have the substitutions, and she said that she would not be able to do that for me. I told her that I'd be able to pay for it myself, and she said no. I asked her why, and she said that the accommodation was too random and complicated. Also, she said that I was, and I quote, strong enough to handle a few eggs. Whatever that means.
That's not how that works.
And that I could just deal with it myself. I explained to her that there was absolutely nothing at the wedding I could eat other than pickles and artichoke dip, which is not enough sustenance to last me the hot day.
No.
She told me to stop complaining and suck it up. How kind of her. I was very taken aback by this because we've been really friendly over the years that I've known her.
She's a backstabbing, two-faced bitch.
In fact, I knew her before my brother and her got together because she was a part of my husband's friend group and still is. I was actually the one who set them up together, which is another reason why I offered to help with their wedding. I called my brother again and asked him what the hell was going on because I had a very odd and somewhat conversation with his fiance. He made an excuse saying everyone is stressed and the wedding planning is stressful, which is true, and things got blown out of proportion. But I still can't figure out why I was the only person who got a different answer. On Monday, I finally just took all your advice and sent my brother a message where I said that I will bring my own food, and if that was a problem, I'm not coming. As much as I love him, I need to live my or as much as I love him, I live my health. I need to love my health. I'm going to think it says and respect a little more. He left me on open for about 6 hours and then wrote back, "That's fine, just don't make it too noticeable, please." And that was the last I heard of him for a bit. But on Friday after work, I went out with one of my best friends who is in the same friend group as my husband and this fiance. But I've been friends with her for a long time. Basically, me, her, and her sister were childhood friends, but she only met my husband in that friend group in college. She told me that fiance and my husband had a very minor talking stage relationship sort of thing during college, but that ended just as fast as it started. My friend, being her very gossipy self, said that she thinks my brother's fiance might still have a thing for my husband. I didn't think that was true till I was jokingly telling my husband about what our friend said, and he says that that could be a possibility. What? I asked to take a look at their private messages. She said, what? And well, she's messaging him almost every day, and he's not saying anything. What?
He's not saying anything?
Despite them being in the same friend group, he isn't insanely close to her. So these messages are him either having casual, polite conversation, short conversation about shared plans or interests, or him just straight up ignoring her. I didn't go all the way back, but from what I can see, there's nothing weird going on. I trust my husband with my whole heart, and I believe he's loyal. From this point forward, I'm not really sure what to do. There's no real proof that my friend's intuition is actually what's going on, and I truly believe the situation may be one big misunderstanding.
It's not,
No.
sis. It's not.
I don't even care about the food anymore. I'll bring it on my own. Anyways, what should I do now? I basically
Don't go!
And that's it for now. We're waiting.
No! I hope we get another update.
Same, dude.
I really hope she doesn't go, because who knows if she's not going to get poisoned.
Yeah, no shit. This woman is bonkers. She's totally into the dude still.
Yes, because at first I was thinking maybe she's jealous of how close the siblings are.
That's what I figured because I couldn't remember this damn story.
But that is fucking nutso.
That shit.
And your brother is horrible too.
Yes, for allowing it and coming up with excuses. Like, I'm sure in his own way he may be like some sort of like victim, not victim, because like I'm not saying there's abuse, but you know, like she's clearly fucking weird.
Yes.
But still, he's enabling it.
Yeah, he's enabling it. And he's not taking her, like, they are being ableist. Like,
yes. Like, honestly, I would be so
and, like, she
pissed.
still wants to help, like, that.
If I was dating someone and they tried something like that, I would never see them the same.
No.
Never.
Me either, dude.
Literally.
Whoa. Okay, so my first story comes from Best of Redditor Updates. It originally came from, originally was posted on Ask a Manager.
Okay.
A coworker prayed for my fiance's death, so we
Oh
didn't
my God.
invite her to our wedding, and now there's drama. My fiance, we'll call him Ted, has worked for 10 years on a small,
10
very
years.
close-knit team, all of whom seem to get along exceptionally well. All the team members and spouses/partners socialize outside of work together as well, and we consider them all to be close friends. We thought they felt the same. A few months ago, on the way to a work event, Ted and his co-worker/best friend Bob were involved in a serious car accident and were rushed to the ER. Everyone waited anxiously for hours, and they both underwent surgery. Thankfully, they both recovered. When Ted returned to work, a team member, Sally, told him she had a confession to make. She said that while they had been in surgery, she prayed that if God had to let one of them die, she hoped it would be him. What the fuck? That's what she typed. What she typed, WTF. Ted was shocked and asked why. He said she gushed on and on about what a saint Bob is. Her examples were that Bob gives her great advice on her struggling marriage and has loaned her money when she was in a tight spot. She finished by saying, "No disrespect to you, but Bob is in a class by himself. You have to admit you can't measure up to that," and walked away. Ted was truly devastated to learn that she felt this way, but he tried to attribute it to the stress of the situation and did his best to put it behind him. He never told anyone else on the team what she said and tried to continue on at work as if nothing happened, but his relationship with Sally hasn't recovered. He is still deeply wounded by her comments. Although Ted appears to be a confident person, underneath he is fairly insecure. He truly thought Sally was a good friend, so in addition to causing him a lot of pain, this has also rattled his confidence. Now he's wondering if all his team members secretly feel the way she does. Ted and Sally have always seemed to have a warm, cordial relationship, and he can't understand why she would say such a hurtful thing. Ted is now constantly measuring himself against Bob and questioning why he isn't as good. I suggested that perhaps Sally has a crush on Bob or feels closer to him for reasons that have nothing to do with Ted, but he is convinced that he said she typed, but he is convinced that thinks she sees him. But he is convinced. He thinks she sees him as a second-tier man and worries that others do too. Our wedding is coming up and the venue strictly limits the number of guests. When it was time to send out invitations, Ted invited the rest of the team and their spouses, but did not invite Sally and her husband. I expressed my concern that this would cause more problems, but he replied that since we could only have a limited number of guests, he'd prefer to spend our special day with another pair of close friends who genuinely love and appreciate us, rather than a woman with whom his relationship is now severely strained. And before I continue, I just want to comment now. I hate that when it's like, I know they're horrible, whatever, but just not to rock the boat, do this. No.
No.
They're the ones that did this. They are horrible. I don't
Yes.
care. They're not allowed. Fuck them.
It'd be different if this was a situation that only involved the wife and she's like, you know what, just don't say anything for me.
Exactly. But it was
this is
him.
not even them, him, yes.
And his work friends. Not
Yes.
saying they're not friends with her, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
I would be like, hey, I totally understand if you don't because you work with them, but I think we shouldn't invite her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I got a call from another team member, Alice, asking me if I had forgotten to send an invitation to Sally. I explained that because the venue is small, we simply couldn't invite everyone. Alice then told Ted that if we didn't invite Sally, she and the other women on the team wouldn't attend either. Ted told her that since the invitations have already gone out, there is no way to add Sally and her husband now unless we uninvited 2 other guests, which we cannot do. Now all of the women on the team, including Sally, are freezing Ted out. They refuse to speak to him except when forced to, which is really starting to adversely impact the collaborative work the team does and hampering Ted's ability to do his job. The men on the team have sided with Ted, saying they feel we have the right to invite or not invite whomever we want to our own wedding. This has caused an even further rift in the team. Everyone is questioning Ted about why we didn't invite Sally, but he doesn't feel it's his place to explain why he doesn't want her to attend, and just keeps repeating the decision was due to the venue size limitations.
You just say it.
The manager of the team works at another site, and because the team has previously worked so well together, has historically been fairly hands-off and is oblivious to what is happening now. But if the work continues to suffer, she's going to notice and ask what's going on. What, if anything, should Ted do? Should he preemptively go to the manager to give her a heads up, or will this make it even worse to be seen as tattling? Is there anything he can do to fix this on the team before it erodes their work product even more? I did weaken and call the venue, who grudgingly said they would be willing to accommodate one more couple. Should we break down and invite Sally to the wedding for the sake of harmony at work? And there's an update, but
no, fuck.
No, and you should. And it's not.
I tell people.
It's one. If you don't feel comfortable telling the coworkers whatever, you need to tell management. And it's not tattling. What happened was harassment at the workplace. That is not okay.
Because it's a strange thing for her to think, let alone say to you.
And double down on it when he's like, what?
Yes.
Imagine if the roles were reversed and a woman had gotten into an accident with another woman.
And a man was like,
I'm so glad man said that.
Or I was praying that she'd live and not you.
They're better in every way. You're like second tier woman, whatever.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be fly. Okay. It's not okay with this way either.
No.
That is ridiculous.
No.
So yeah, he needs to get ahead of it and say what actually happened and be like, hey, I didn't say anything because I felt really uncomfortable. I didn't want to rock the boat or anything, but it's getting really bad. I need help.
Yes.
I didn't feel comfortable with what she said.
I didn't feel comfortable.
You're looking
with what
at me
she said.
like I look at people. Okay, so update. I wrote to you recently about my fiancé, Ted, who was in a car accident with his coworker, Bob. Their coworker, Sally, confessed to Ted that she had prayed if... That too! She prayed to God!
Yeah, like, I hope that son of a bitch dies and Bob's good.
Confessed to Ted that she had prayed if God had to let one die, she hoped it would be him. Thank you so much for your great insight, advice, and quick response. An update. Fortunately, this resolved very, very quickly. The morning after I wrote you, Bob privately asked Ted if they could talk about the situation with Sally. Turns out, Sally does have a crush on Bob. When they returned to work after the accident, she told Bob that the thought that she might lose him made her realize she loved him.
Oh my God.
Bob said he told her he is happily married and not interested. He said that since then, she has been driving past his house repeatedly,
oh my God,
calling his home and hanging up, sending weird texts, some continuing to be suggestive or expressing her love, while others are angry, almost threatening, despite his asking her to stop. Ted ended up telling Bob about his bizarre conversation with her. Bob said he would quietly talk to others on the team to explain why Ted didn't want to invite her to the wedding, but Bob also decided it had all become weird enough that he needed to talk to their manager to give her a heads up. I don't know what happened after his meeting with the manager, but that afternoon it was announced that Sally is no longer working there.
Oh.
Ted is actively looking for a new job. We read your advice in the comments together. Ted agrees that he should have talked to Sally directly about how much her comments upset him, and that he should have given at least a vague explanation to the others as to why she was the only one excluded. We both have now learned the hard way that from now on, we need to keep boundaries between our professional and personal relationships. Ted especially appreciates all the supportive comments regarding therapy and says he's going to make an appointment to see someone. This has definitely been a learning experience, and we both sincerely appreciate the help. When you're caught up in drama, getting an outside perspective is so valuable. Thank you. Update 2. It's small. Oh. Apparently, Bob told everyone all that had occurred. All but one of the women has apologized to Ted, saying they should have known he wouldn't exclude Sally for no reason. Still, you were so right. We shouldn't have excluded one couple with no explanation. No one has heard from Sally, but someone from security came to clear out her desk. I guess based on her bizarre behavior with both Bob and Ted, she's struggling right now with some sort of mental health issue, and I hope she gets help.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of wondering, like, is she
That's
mentally
scary.
okay? Because it doesn't seem like they suspected her of any sort of behavior like this before. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, she ends up in this wreck. And I'm not saying she has brain damage or anything, but I'm
No,
like,
she wasn't in the wreck.
oh, she wasn't?
No.
Sorry, I
The
misunderstood.
person she has a crush on,
Oh, I
an
thought she was
OP's
also in it.
fiance,
Oh, okay.
got into an accident. And that accident made her realize how much she
Okay, see, for some
loved
reason,
that
I thought
guy.
she was also part of it. And I was like,
So-
maybe a near-death experience, like, put her into
So
shock.
she was praying that if one of them had to die, that's
truly-
why the comment was so scary, because she was saying, I hope you died
Yes.
instead of him.
Yes. That is so weird. Like, I truly do wonder if that's a mental health episode, because
Yeah.
like they seem like they, like she said, they her husband and them all seemed really close knit, and then all of a sudden this is happening. I'm like, it can't be all of a sudden, or something else is like, unless she's having a mental health episode.
Like that's
and stalking,
scary.
like she's straight up stalking.
Scary. The calling and hanging up and the
Yes.
messages and shit.
And driving by the
Hell
house.
no.
What the hell?
That's dangerous. That's scary.
Weird.
And like I'm glad they took that seriously and like fired her on the spot for like.
Yes, because so many places will be like, you know what, we need workers.
Yeah, I'd be like, nah, you're overreacting, whatever.
It has nothing to do with. We have nothing to do with out of work.
And I agree. Like at one point, like obviously you don't want to be overly rude or whatever, but if someone does shit to you like that, do not exert your energy to placate their feelings. Be straight out.
Exactly.
Be like, I didn't invite you because what you said made me extremely uncomfortable.
And you know what?
Prayed for me to die.
And you know what? If not for your own sake, then someone else's sake. Maybe it'll teach them not to do some weird shit to someone else and hurt them in the future. Like, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was like, water.
So this is from r/relationship advice. My 28F best friend, 27F, ended our 12-year friendship with a brief voicemail the week before my wedding. I don't know how to move on without closure. We've been best friends since high school and have talked nearly every day for 12 years. Even after I moved across the country twice, we stayed close. I was her maid of honor 7 months ago, and she was supposed to be mine. Then she abruptly ended our friendship last week with a scripted voicemail. Some background. I was diagnosed with BPD at 20, which helped explain a lot of my unhealthy behaviors I had in my teens, especially compulsive lying. Through therapy and a medicated brain, I made huge strides, and I'm now able to call myself out in the moment, apologize, and just repair trust when I slip up.
I'm so proud of you.
That is a very hard one to get over. That is a very hard one. That's supposed to be one of the hard, like, personality disorders. Oh my fucking god.
Yes.
Yeah. Not that other ones aren't hard, but anyways. My therapist also suggested the phrase, slow your thoughts and focus on the truth, for my friends to use when they're unsure if I'm being honest. It's embarrassing when it's said out loud in a group, but it's been helpful. My friend knew about this and has used it in the past, always with kindness. That seems like such a healthy setup. Oh
yeah,
my
it
God.
does.
Like, especially for, like, I don't know, people in their early 20s. Like, I don't know. She knew me before I was diagnosed, when I had no coping skills, and when I was deep in teenage insecurity. Ooh. I made a point to clarify past lies when they've come up, especially stuff from high school, and I've taken full accountability. I knew I was the main reason for a rocky foundation of our friendship, but I thought I had made great progress strengthening it.
Yeah.
Our overall values have always aligned, and our actions just didn't always support them. 2 weeks ago, we went on my bachelorette trip. While we were there, she shared a few embarrassing high school stories that I had previously admitted were lies, and she did it in front of everybody. It felt intentional and humiliating. When I asked her about it later, she said she was just anxious because she didn't know the group well. These are my cousins, my sorority sisters, and other my college friends. They were also aware of my struggles with telling tales, but also they know it's something I'm constantly working on.
Yeah.
I figured it was just her awkwardness, so I let it go. Then the next morning, I found out she called my mom. She told her about us getting drunk the night before and brought up things from my past. Drugs, one-night stands, sneaking out of the house, etc. My mom was confused and concerned. I'm 28. She doesn't care about the details of the shit I did in high school. As long as I'm healthy. As long as I'm healthy, safe, and making better choices now.
Yeah.
Her only comment was, if I had known in the moment with any of it, I would have helped you sooner.
Oh.
I called my friend to try and talk to her about why she felt the need to involve my mom.
Yeah, that's fucking batshit.
Yeah, what? No response. I texted her twice over the next day and even sent her photos from the trip, trying to open the door to talk. Nothing. 2 full weeks had passed with silence. Then on the day of my final walkthrough with wedding vendors, a day she had access to on the island. Nope. What?
Epstein's Island?
The word island's not on there. I feel like someone just sent a word into my brain and I said it.
Oh my god. That's how I feel when I'm listening to something, trying to write or type, and the word I hear is typed.
Sometimes I'll go back to notes, from whenever I go back to notes during college of whenever I was just trying to hurry up and write shit down, and be like, this makes no fucking
especially
sense.
Sabicki, he goes so fucking fast.
Oh my god, in his notes he would not. None of his fucking professors would write down the general
No,
points.
you'd have to listen to what he's saying. And yeah.
Pain.
Oh, okay.
Pain.
What's her name? Jane from Twilight? Pain.
Pain.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
From what is it? The coven that is all raining.
That is the one I thought it was. I just don't know what they're called.
Volturi.
Oh, smart baby. Sounds like that would be one of the ones from that game. Sorry.
It does.
Then on the day of my final walkthrough with wedding vendors, a day she had access to on the shared schedule and which she was supposed to be at, she called and left me a 60-second voicemail. In it, she said she was stepping down as matron of honor and that we should no longer be friends. It was clearly scripted. She then sent the same message to my fiance and my mom.
Why? Why the mom?
I called and texted her once each after that. I wasn't going to blow up her phone, but I did want a conversation. I wanted to understand. Since
Understand.
then,
Sorry.
No, please.
It's just having a suit.
I love it. Since then, I've spoken to my other friends from the trip. They told me that she had pulled several of them aside individually during the weekend to complain that she didn't get enough alone time with me. She also shared more embarrassing stories about me from when I was 16 or 17. The general consensus was that I hadn't done anything wrong during the trip itself, but her energy was off and she seemed like she was trying to prove something to everyone.
Yeah, I think that since OP is doing better and being healthy, she wants to tear you down.
Yes, which is unfortunately not super uncommon. Dakota does it to me all the time. The amount of times I've gotten cured of my OCD and she just rips me away.
Oh my god.
Because you can get cured with just one simple prayer and a donation to
$1 today.
Yeah.
And you too can help with the cure.
Yes. Of my OCD.
Yeah, nobody else's. This just cure only works for Sam.
Sambalama.
So not even me, guys.
No.
Actually, how it works is I kind of take it.
You take it?
Sorry, I take your ticks and shit. So I take some of your...
I think you take the foundation money.
I mean, yeah, that's the point,
I was like, I thought
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Anyways, I'm not mad that the friendship ended. I understand people grow apart. What's hurting me is how it ended.
Yeah.
No warning, no conversation, 2 weeks of silence, followed by a cold rehearsed message the week before my wedding. I thought our friendship could survive the past, especially since we have grown and supported each other through so much.
Have you? Not like you, I mean her. To you?
She was supposed to stand next to me at the altar. Now she won't even respond to a text. I know I haven't been a perfect friend because of my past issues may have been exhausting, but I also know I've grown, always been there for her, and I've always tried to make amends when I've hurt people. I really believed our friendship had weathered the hardest parts already. Now I'm less than a week away from her wedding. Now I'm less than a week.
Less than a week
they
away.
did say that, so I'm not crazy. Now I'm less than a week Now I'm less than a week away. A week away from my wedding, trying to focus on joy and celebration. I keep going back to this massive sense of grief and confusion. I don't know what changed. I don't know if something happened that weekend that pushed her over the edge. I just wish she would have talked to me and even had a final conversation that would have helped me move on. You know what I think? I think that I think when she's getting introduced to all these connections she has in your life, she's going, I'm not the better one between us. I'm not the one she's going to need to rely on. Then she probably got into self-pity mode or something, and
Yeah, or almost like
no one needs me, I'm leaving.
Or almost jealousy in the way where it's like, you didn't know her and have to go through the shit that I did.
Yeah.
You get her now. Like, here's all the shit that she did.
Yes.
But honestly, I think what she did, how she ended it, was possibly the safest for you.
That honestly,
imagine you were at the wedding, she was standing there next to you and did
this was a blessing. This was a blessing ultimately, because it could have went any way.
She sounds a little scary.
Yes. Impulsive.
Yes.
And I don't know. Yeah,
she sounds like she might also be dealing with some mental health issues.
I think so. And she probably and OP may know that and just not want to say it. But,
yeah.
But I mean, it's just her friend's terrible.
Yes. Yeah, not a friend.
I know this didn't really have a whole lot to do with the wedding, but like I kind of felt like it counted.
It did, yeah, it's during, yeah.
And I feel like the wedding kicking it all off is what like triggered everything. Like everyone.
Okay. This comes from Best of Redditor Updates. My 24 female future in-laws are upset because my autistic nephews, 6 male, 10 male, 13 male, 17 male, aren't invited to the wedding, and my fiance, 36 male, she's 24 female.
Oh.
Yeah. Won't even defend me.
Oh, fuck off.
Trigger warning for ableism, verbal and physical abuse, gaslighting, sexual assault.
Oh, Lord.
To start out, the original post was 2014.
Ooh.
Yeah. To start out, I really love my future nephews, and their disabilities don't have any effect on that. They are severely I almost said artistic.
They are severely artistic.
They are severely autistic, and the 2 oldest ones are extremely violent.
Yikes.
Hitting, kicking, spitting, scratching, pushing. And the 17-year-old also has several inappropriate sexual behaviors that he exhibits regularly.
Aww.
The 2 youngest ones are fairly low functioning and can't really speak, but can be fairly disruptive when they are overstimulated. The biggest problem comes in when the oldest 2 have meltdowns, caused by overstimulation and large groups of people, especially strangers, or when their schedule is disrupted. During my time around these 2 boys, I've been kicked, punched, shoved, spat, like not drooled, spat on, head-butted, and bitten. I had to go to the hospital to get it checked out.
Oh my god.
This was especially more common in the beginning of mine and my fiance's relationship, being that I was a stranger to the boys. It's decreased a little over time, but it still happens, and I'm pretty small. 5'2", 100 pounds.
Oh my god.
And they are pretty big, so when it happens, it knocks the wind out of me pretty badly. The 17-year-old has also started noticing his sexual feelings and has begun taking them out on women anywhere near him, including me.
No, they need to bite that.
He walks up and kisses women on the lips or grabs their butts and breasts. And he even tried to stick his hand down my pants before. And takes his clothes off and masturbates whenever he feels like it.
No. They're not. They're enablers. It's a whole family. Fuck it.
I've asked his parents and grandparents, the people they live with who take care of him, if there is anything they can do or say to maybe encourage them not to do those things. And it just resulted in me being hated and yelled at for being insensitive to their issues and expecting them to know better when I know that they don't.
They could know better.
Yeah, they should.
Yes.
All 4 of the fucking children.
Oh, they might know better.
I've thought about trying to get them to stop using some methods that I read about, but I didn't want to make it any worse because I know that if I tried anything, It would result in more yelling and being berated and told that at least I don't have to deal with it every day. Since we know what causes the boys to have meltdowns, my fiance and I decided to have a child-free wedding as to not specifically exclude the boys. When my future brother-in-law heard about the no kids rule, he immediately jumped on the defense and demanded that the boys be invited because normal kids will get to experience other weddings, they won't. When I tried explaining to him that it wasn't...
I don't think they'll care.
No. When I tried explaining to him that it wasn't for just the boys again, he wasn't having it. Then I tried explaining that the safety of the boys, I don't want them to be too overwhelmed and the venue isn't child-friendly, and the guests at the wedding, about 350 people,
No, they can't be
was
there.
very important to me. I got berated and told how horrible and insensitive and evil of a person I was. They're threatening to not come to the wedding and have already started posting the passive-aggressive stuff on Facebook about the favorite auntie who thinks her autistic nephews are a burden because they aren't perfect. Now my fiance wants to allow them to come, but not any other children. And he seems totally unconcerned.
Who wants?
The fiance.
No.
Yeah. And he seems totally unconcerned about the guests who will be there.
So many red flags already.
Yup.
Dude.
Or even me, for that matter. I'm honestly just thinking about calling off the wedding and possibly even my relationship with my fiance, as he never stands up for me and sometimes even joins in with telling me to just accept the things that come with the disease, no matter how bad they are. One, it's not a disease, and two, being like, you just need to accept being sexually assaulted.
Unhealthy for literally every single person in the situation.
Yeah.
They did those boys dirty.
You need
they
to
fucked
run.
Those little boys up.
Yes.
And it's their fault.
I don't know how much more I can deal with in this situation as a whole, dealing with his family. I know that this all sounds terrible on my end. No, like, for you, not because of you. And I honestly feel bad for feeling this way, because I know that they can't help it. And I feel bad for my future brother-in-law, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, and father-in-law, because I know that they are under tons of constant stress and don't really have many places to turn besides each other, but I really can't deal with this for the rest of my life. Am I wrong and insensitive in this situation? And is ending my relationship with my fiance and his family too drastic a measure for this problem?
Dude, you need to break up.
Yes.
And just run and never speak to any of these people again. Because this is how it is before you're married.
Exactly.
Oh my god, honey. This
Call
is
it a
trying to get you to
blessing.
stay.
It's the AC.
Okay. I thought there was like a bee in here.
Nah.
But no, you need to go because it's only going to get worse and you're going to be miserable and every little thing's just going to build up into such resentment. You're going to hate him anyways.
You are unsafe.
Hell, you're going to hate him no matter what because you're going to look back on this relationship and be like, I cannot believe I got engaged to a dude who made me put up with sexual assault.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, I know it's like CPS, like Child Protective Service, doesn't always do anything, whatever. You need to tell a mandated reporter, a doctor,
somebody,
a counselor, a mandated reporter, someone that has to report, or call, Child Protective Service yourself.
On a real note,
when I go there, the eldest boy, who is underage, sexually assaults me and gets naked and masturbates whenever he wants, and they're letting him.
And probably...
That's not okay.
And by letting him, they aren't actively encouraging it.
Yes, and the younger boys see that.
Yes, and they are going to be not only dangerous to themselves, but the people around them. What?
And that's not fair to the boys either.
Autism is something that they just wake up better one day and they're like, oh, I shouldn't be like that.
They need help figuring out things in a different way.
From the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So here are some relevant comments. Why on earth is your fiance not backing you up here? He thinks that I'm wrong to feel the way I do because the boys can't help their disorders, and he thinks that I should get over it and not bother his brother-in-law and sister-in-law with it when there's nothing they can do about it anyways. And he's thrown out the "you chose to be a part of my family" thing, which is true, so he usually joins in their side instead of mine. Then OP added info on the kids, explaining the brother-in-law having 3 autistic children. The 17-year-old is their biological child, and the other 3 were adopted as babies. I should have added this in earlier, but all of the adopted boys have other issues that were known at birth, which is how they ended up having having 4 special needs children. I'm not exactly
Sounds like the perfect family to take that on.
So you
They
are
went in knowing.
horrible at being able to like raise and like be
A parent to
the word
your
that
own.
is coming. It's not coming to my mind, but it's like you have to be able to switch up how you do things to like suit the needs of your child.
Accommodating?
Yeah, something like that. If you can't provide properly for your child that has autism, what makes you be like, let's adopt 3 more?
Retain?
I don't know. Let's adopt 3 more.
They were like, this one was easy. We don't have to discipline them at all.
I'm not exactly sure what those other disabilities are, though, as they mainly just tell me it's their autism when problems arise. Which, okay, it's probably not. So there's other things going untreated that they need help with, and it's just not.
Oh my god, dude, you need to report this family.
Are they in therapy? Yeah. Are they in therapy? As far as I know, they're not in therapy, and I'm not sure if they've even checked out therapy or support groups. I once tried to suggest that maybe therapy would be a good thing to try out, and I got my head bitten off for telling them how to
At least it
parent
grew
their
back.
kids and speaking on something I have no idea about. Then my fiance laid into me too. So all in all, they value anything I say on the situation as pretty much worthless, and they definitely aren't open to therapy. So then the update is 1 week later. It's the day after Christmas.
Ooh.
2014.
Ooh. I was
13 years old. So was she.
supposed to say it. I was literally saying I was.
I'm sorry.
And then you had to fucking interrupt me.
I'm sorry.
You fucking whore.
Thanks to all of you who commented and gave advice on the last post. Having the little extra support was nice. The day after I made the post, I basically already had my mind made up to leave my fiance. Thank goodness. I'd been thinking about it longer than I'd like to admit, but I decided to wait until the holidays were over so that the break wouldn't be as messy. We were discussing
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. We were discussing Christmas plans, and I told him that I would prefer to go to my family's house this year because I knew that if I joined his family, his brother/sister-in-law and their boys would be there, and I'd rather not disturb the boy's schedule or get yelled at by his family anymore. Or, get sexually assaulted or physically assaulted, all of the above, and berated, verbally abused by the family.
Everything under the table.
My fiance flipped his shit and began yelling at me for being selfish and thinking only of myself. What about you, dude?
Yeah, what the hell?
I even told him why again, and he still kept yelling, all while name-calling, and I lost it and started yelling too, and told him that I might want to spend time with his family if I wasn't abused and forced against a wall every time I was near them. Apparently, this was the most shocking news ever to him, and he couldn't believe I felt that way. When he finally asked how I was being abused, I told him all of the things his family does and says to me, even though usually while he's present. And maybe I shouldn't have, but I also But I also told him I didn't want to be hit, kicked, spat on, or groped by the boys for at least this one day.
Which is a completely reasonable
He somehow had no idea that I wasn't okay with this, despite the fact that he witnessed
you're not okay
it.
With getting sexually assaulted?
And I tell him this every time it happens. He called me an awful cunt for blaming them for doing things that they don't know aren't okay, / that go along with their disabilities, and having no sympathy for selfless people in a physically / emotionally tough situation, which isn't at all what came out of my mouth in any way, shape, or form. And he knows that the boys can't, and he knows that I know that the boys can't help it, and that I've expressed both sympathy and understanding for his brother and sister-in-law. He left very soon after that, and immediately the phone calls and messages started coming in from his family. I can't even count how many worthless, useless, selfish, evil, pathetic bitches, whores, and cunts I was called. Then they even took it to Facebook and fabricated the story completely and twisted just about every word. My fiance came back the next day and apologized for the night before and asked if I was ready to suck it up and get over myself and just go to his family's house for Christmas. I stuck to my guns and told him that there was no way I was going back there and that I was spending the holidays with my family whether he was going or not. And we got into another fight, solely about our relationship this time. And I told him about all of his selfishness, immaturity, and everything. Disrespect, lying.
Yeah, because there's no way it just applies to this
No.
one thing, like the nephews.
Lying, name-calling, purposely doing/saying things I asked him not to do. Bro.
I can't do that. I can't do that. That would
Piss me off.
make me literally, oh my god.
Fuckface would do that.
Yes.
Whininess.
Yeah. Like, you didn't want me to do it?
Listen, whenever someone says, "Oh, I just love getting you mad," like, it's so cute when you get mad.
I don't get that because
fuckface would say that. I'm like, oh my fucking god.
It's like, I don't like seeing people mad,
No.
especially if they're someone I care about.
Because they just love to think they have a reason to yell at you, but they never do.
Yes.
And I told him about all of the selfishness, immaturity, and everything. Disrespect, lying, name-calling, purposely doing/saying things I asked him not to do, whininess, whenever I wanted to go out with friends or family or have time by myself, he would pout and moan and groan and whine and call 1,000,000,000 times asking when I'd be home.
Oh my god.
And his total lack of balls when it came to defending me ever. We went back and forth for quite a while, and at one point I was finally done and kicked him out. It was my house to begin with. Hell yeah. And told him that our relationship was over. Even after all of that, it was hard to leave him, and I will sort of miss him at times. But it felt like the biggest weight in the world has been lifted off of my shoulders.
Yes.
And for the first time in the 4.5 years we've been together, I felt like a free person. I still feel bad for his family, though, and especially the boys, knowing what they have to go through.
Yeah, ultimately, they are victims.
Yeah. But I had to get out as it was only adding extra unneeded stress and hurt to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a mess right now with him having to come back and forth and get his belongings and canceling everything for the wedding, but I'm happy that it's over now and that I can move on and not feel completely awful about myself 24/7, even though my heart is still a little broken.
I would just love if every woman he ever tries to date from now on breaks up with him for the same fucking reason.
Yep.
Because
that's
no
ridiculous.
one deserves to be with that.
No.
And also, I knew it had to go past more than just the nephews. One, the whole family seems to be fucking off their rocker. Do you remember that old show, Off the Rocker, with Betty White? It was a prank show, like Impractical Jokers, where it basically just repeated pranks of old people pretending to die in front of people.
Hilarious.
And it was a funny show. Like, it didn't last long though. It got canceled.
I
don't know why. It's from like 2010, 11.
I don't know.
But anyways, there's some clear familial issue going on, generational, and it was never going to break with this cycle.
And I know there's natural curiosity, exploration, like it's a biological thing that the boys are going through, but I also have to bring to the question that there is some behavior that they have been exposed to that has made that extreme,
which is extremely common, and especially with and I'm not saying like he's a bad kid or anything when I say this, but it's more common for autistic boys to know that they're going to get away with more, so they will try more, and and they are aware of that
because boys and men in general have that.
Yes,
especially when it comes to sex.
Exactly, and so there is honestly a decent case that the kid knows he's doing something wrong. Probably doesn't know the extent of it because clearly no one in his life has ever taught him consequences of any kind. So I'm not sitting here saying the kid's evil by any sense.
No.
This is probably like the equivalent of like,
I would say the parents and grandparents they're
the evil ones.
And
this kid's doing like the mental equivalent of like, I don't know, sneaking downstairs and stealing a cookie. Like,
why are you comfortable seeing your child and grandchild naked and masberbating in front of you?
Like,
what?
I can't imagine.
Excuse me?
I can't imagine. I don't even like to imagine the thought of my granny masturbating in her bed with dementia.
Man, I really hope she had lubrication.
No, I guess she would literally
Ouch.
she would just pull up her gown, I guess, and would just start, like, rubbing the shit out of her clit.
Damn.
Like, I guess she wouldn't insert, she just rubbed the shit
That
out of her
would
clit.
hurt.
Her and me
though.
have a little something in common.
Me too.
Okay, so this story is from r/am I overreacting? Am I overreacting for calling off my engagement after my fiance admitted that his family secretly tested me to see if I was a gold digger?
No, you're not overreacting.
I, 24F, have been with my fiance, 27M, for almost 4 years. He has a really well-paying job in tech, and I make pretty average money. We always split things fair, and I never ask him for expensive stuff or trips or anything. I honestly thought money was a non-issue for us. I never was interested in him for his money anyways. We genuinely clicked so well, and I loved his personality. We are into the same nerdy things, and his family seemed to really like me. I never thought I would have to worry about our relationship going south until now. A few days ago, my fiance sat me down and said he had something he wanted to tell me. He was smiling like it was great news. He basically told me that his family has been secretly testing me for the last 11 months to make sure I wasn't a gold digger. He said that they were worried I only liked him for his income and they wanted proof before we got married. The test was they made it all seem like he was struggling financially and that he was about to lose his job, or that he might lose his job, rather. His mom would casually bring up layoffs, and his dad would talk about how unstable tech is, and slowly it turned into he might actually lose his job and you guys might really have to downsize. At one point, his mom even told me that I should be prepared to financially help him if it came to that. I never wanted to bring up the possibility of a layoff for him because I didn't want to stress him out. I wanted to be prepared to support him if needed, so I did start budgeting more, saving money, cutting back on random spending, skipping stuff if I wanted, and generally just trying to prepare for the worst. I constantly reassured my fiance, encouraged him, told him we'd be fine, that I didn't care about money and that I just wanted us. But this whole thing was fake. His job was never in danger. His income never changed. There were no layoffs. His family literally planned this whole thing together. They kept going at it for almost a year.
That's
Subtle comments made in passing to manipulate and test me. Apparently, this all started because his older brother went through a really messy divorce, and his brother now pays a ton in child support. And his ex-wife got a lot of money in the divorce, and his family fully blames her and thinks she's a gold digger. Oh my god!
Have you never heard of a prenup?
What the hell? Literally, he could have chosen not to do that.
And I have to pay child support. I don't think you have to pay child support if you're 50-50 in the...
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
Or asthma, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused
Yeah, no, you
about.
don't if it's 50-50.
So that just means he chose not to see the kid. So now they're super paranoid about any woman who dates one of their sons. The thing is, I've actually met his brother's ex-wife before. She's dropping off the kids at a family night, and she seemed extremely nice and super normal. I never once got gold digger vibes from her, and honestly, it made me uncomfortable with how much they demonized her.
She probably wanted the bare minimum.
Yeah. My fiance said his parents finally told him that I passed, and that they felt comfortable with him marrying me now. He said he wanted to tell me because he thought I'd be relieved to know he isn't actually struggling financially, and that it shows how much his family cares about him. Then he tells me that to celebrate, he upgraded our honeymoon to a nice luxury resort in Hawaii. No! Don't go to Hawaii. I mentioned this resort when initially honeymoon planning, but deemed it too expensive, so I settled for a more modest option. But I feel weird about it. I don't want to be rewarded for being manipulated really well. Like, good job, we tricked you, and here, you were so gullible that you believed it. Here's a nicer vacation. I told him that I felt manipulated, embarrassed, and honestly humiliated that his whole family was watching my reactions and judging my character behind my back for almost a year. He said I'm looking at it wrong and that I proved I'm not with him for his money, and that this should make me feel more secure in our relationship.
No.
How is this supposed to make her feel more secure?
Thank you.
This is for him. I wish I could ask my family about what they thought, but unfortunately, my mom passed 2 years ago, and I don't have a relationship with my father.
Damn.
I'm feeling sad and lost because I don't have a reliable second opinion to lean on. His family was my family. That's what makes this even harder.
Yeah, so her entire social circle was manipulating her. Her reality
oh my god,
was literally changed.
That is so awful. His family is acting like this is completely normal and that I should be proud of myself.
They're fucking batshit, bro.
His mom literally even told me that most girls would not have handled this so gracefully. I told him I needed space and that I'm seriously considering calling off the engagement.
You should.
But I honestly don't know what to do.
You should.
I love him and this is so out of left field. Everyone is acting... You're right. Now everyone is acting like I'm blowing this out of proportion.
That's how it happens.
And being dramatic.
Run, girl.
Part of me wonders if I am.
No.
But part of me feels like my trust is completely broken.
It is, and it should be.
Edit 1. Oh wait, first there's an... Or not edit 1, update 1, but first there's an edit. A couple people are asking why he didn't just ask for a prenup. We actually did discuss this before we got engaged, and I told him I'm totally up for a prenup. I brought this up when he confessed, and he said he wasn't necessarily worried about divorce, that the whole thing was testing my character. What? Making sure I was a morally good person before he married me.
Wouldn't a prenup do that?
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, talking to her, knowing
finding out who
she is.
If you don't know if she is, then you shouldn't be getting married to her.
No.
I never even given the indication that I'm shallow, so it really hurts. I just think they're really suspicious of outsiders who come into their family.
Yeah.
Update 1. Thank you for all your comments. I knew deep down that this was all wrong, but I needed some outside validation because I don't have close family or many friends. So hearing that my feelings are normal makes me feel less crazy and less alone.
Yeah, it's hard when you're constantly being told every day by those closest to you, you're overreacting, you're crazy. I've been there.
That would,
yes. And it's like, am I don't know.
No,
it's
literally.
Like, no, the fuck, you're not.
Literally.
That's what they want. They're breaking you down so you start questioning yourself.
Exactly. This happened a couple days ago. I'm still staying with my fiance right now, but things are tense and I feel anxious pretty much all the time.
Scared for you.
He knows I'm upset and knows I need space, so he hasn't tried to talk about it since. He knows that I'm considering calling off the engagement, which is why that I think he's been so sensitive the last few days. He hasn't been acting like it's a positive thing anymore and seems pretty remorseful since I told him how it hurt me. This morning, I asked him if he knew about it the whole time, and he told me that his parents started making the comments without his knowledge, and after he overheard a comment that they made to me while over at his parents' house, he asked them privately why they said that, and they explained that they were just testing me. He decided to let them continue just to see what I would do.
I think he knew the whole time.
I think so too. From past interactions with his parents, I also know he has a hard time standing up to them or disagreeing with them.
Makes sense.
So honestly, it makes sense that he didn't call them out and just start going along with it. They told him that they were offended when I suggested an expensive resort for the honeymoon and made a comment insinuating that his parents would be paying for it. They got it in their head that I just expected them to shoulder the cost of an expensive resort without question, which isn't even true. I happily accepted for a more modern option that they suggested because I don't want to seem pushy or entitled. Plus, typically the groom's family pays for the honeymoon where we're from, so I didn't know that they were offended by that. Maybe I really did come off as entitled, but that honestly was never my intention.
But yeah, I've heard in the US it's common, like the bride's family pays for the wedding, and then the groom's family pays for the...
That makes sense.
Or helps pay for the...
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you have the family. Not everybody.
My wedding, we did it differently. Our wedding, sorry.
Yeah.
He wasn't the mastermind, but he never stopped them and didn't see why it was wrong or manipulative until I told him how upset I was. A part of me wonders if he was manipulated by his parents to think that this was acceptable. I'm torn between calling it off or having a conversation with him.
Why not? Sorry, go on.
No, you're good. And asking him to go to couples counseling and set serious boundaries. I also see some suggestions recommending that I talk to his brother's ex-wife. I think that's a good idea.
I do too.
But I'm honestly nervous about it. I don't have her number, but I follow her on Instagram, so I'm considering DMing her.
Yeah, do it.
Update 2. Well, my fiance found this post. Honestly, I feel really stupid for thinking he wouldn't find it. I didn't expect this post to get as much attention as it did, so thank you all for that. That was extremely detailed, which was kind of dumb. Yeah. He saw the post and immediately clocked that I wrote it and came to me yesterday with the post, and I was super afraid he would be angry, but he was actually super understanding. He said that reading the comments was super eye-opening to him on how messed up the situation truly was, and that he feels bad that he ever tried to spin this in a positive light.
Oh, you weren't enough?
Yeah, that's how these stories end.
Did another man have to say it?
That's how these stories end. And sometimes I'm like, I'm never okay with that. Like, that's never enough for me. I'm just too much of a grudge holder for these people.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Is it too much to expect a person to just come to that realization maybe on their own?
Yeah, literally. We had a pretty deep conversation, and he came to realize that he has been pretty manipulated very heavily by his parents and family.
Really?
When his parents justify something, even if it's bad, his brain will just immediately try to justify it because differing opinions were not allowed in his household growing up. This whole situation has started the realization that he grew up in a manipulative and emotionally abusive household, was never given the space to realize it because they had extreme us versus them mentality. So even whenever an extremely normal and well-intentioned person comes into the household, aka me and my brother's ex, and his brother's ex, they will do anything they can to invalidate their character because they're uncomfortable with outsiders. I have learned a lot about myself through this situation. First of all, I'm emotionally vulnerable and need therapy.
Yeah,
Bad.
girl, I feel that.
My need to belong has caused me to stay in situations that are unhealthy for me just because I'm so desperate for a family. I know it's bad and I know it'll be hard, but I want to change. With that being said, even though my fiance was very apologetic and remorseful, I told him I want to call off our wedding and take a break.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. We have our issues that we need to work on by ourselves before we even consider joining in marriage.
Yeah.
I want to figure out who I am without someone to lean on, as painful as that may be.
Yes.
And he needs to seriously evaluate his relationship with his family and how that may have affected him personally. I told him that in the future, if in the future we find ourselves emotionally healthy and the timing works out, maybe we can be together. But for right now, that's just not the case, and we need to go to our separate ways. We still live together, and I don't have anywhere to go. So my fiance said he will move out and try to find other living arrangements. He will pay his portion of the lease until I find another roommate. Well, I hope this is a really good learning situation for him.
Yeah.
And don't go back. I think the relationship is kind of solid at this point. And it's done its job with helping you grow. Hopefully it's done his job with realizing that he is in just a horrible relationship with his parents.
Sorry. That story just fucking blew my mind with how ridiculous it was.
No, you're good.
I was trying my hardest to feel sympathy for this dude. And
I think it ended up with the chick not really feeling that much either.
Like, the child him, yes, absolutely.
Yes, but
adult him, all I see is, I see now that I did these horrible things to you. Woe is me. These horrible things have been happening, and this is why. I am so sorry I did this to you, especially knowing this is the only family you fucking have.
Yeah. Like, I think before the dude ends up in a relationship, he needs to be in some therapy for a good long while. Because I honestly, this sounds bad. I wouldn't be shocked if no progress ever comes between him and his parents in the foreseeable future.
Yep.
I wouldn't be shocked if he goes back to the comfortable dynamic that
it's easier to be complacent.
Yes. Even if you're miserable.
Yep. But you need to. It's hard, but you gotta.
Yes, for everyone's sake. Especially if you date again. Don't put someone else through that shit.
No, that's ridiculous. So this is my last story. Would I be the asshole if I dropped out as a bridesmaid a week before the wedding because of what happened at the Bachelorette? It was originally posted on Am I the Asshole subreddit, AITAH, that one. Because sometimes there's different variations of that. Ones. Trigger warning, racism, anti-Semitism, bullying, Holocaust jokes.
No!
So the original post comes from June 21st, 2026. So I am a bridesmaid in my friend's wedding. She just had a bachelorette party at the groom's family's cabin for 2 nights. It started off okay, but as the attendants got more and more drunk, the racism and anti-Semitism started coming out.
What a nightmare.
For context, everyone else in the party is white. I am mixed Jewish and Asian and Irish, but not relevant to this post. My part of the party was to put on a tea party in the afternoon. I spent weeks hand decorating a tea set as a wedding present. That is, I would be
die.
so
honored.
fucking,
honored.
yeah. I would. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
That's beautiful.
Oh,
Even if it's ugly, I don't care.
we need to have a tea
Can
party
we?
for the fuck of it.
Can
Like
we
dress up and have like cute little.
Can we have stuffed animals?
Yes.
Like also like
yes.
sitting around the table.
We definitely like two minimum
Drab rats.
have to be. Oh my god, rats. Yes, on the table.
Yes.
But our Build-A-Bears that we got. Your monkey and my bunny.
Yes.
I bought and cooked a bunch of my cultural food, but the basic stuff even Western people like lumpia, baked desserts, and sky flakes with cheese and meat. I, of course, checked with the bride and maid of honor beforehand, and both of them said that it would be okay, with the bride saying she loved lumpia. It's a spring roll commonly found in Indonesia. I was so proud of it, and it looked beautiful all set up. But immediately, some of the bridal party started making the ew ethnic food faces.
Oh no.
People of color, if you know, you know. One of them chased around another with a sweet bun, laughing about how weird and scary it was. It was literally bread and cream. I sent pictures of my setup to other friends to see if it was something I did wrong, and everyone said it looked amazing. But oh well, maybe that food isn't for them. I moved on. But then the racist jokes started. The party started on Juneteenth. You can imagine the jokes that came out of that. Then anti-Semitic jokes about Holocaust camps and more. This is a direct quote. I say a lot of Nazi and Holocaust jokes for someone who isn't racist.
Oh my god.
I was trapped on a boat with them when this started happening.
Oh my god.
Later that night, as I was grabbing something from a room to then leave, the main perpetrator said to someone I considered a close friend, I was worried you'd be offended by that Auschwitz joke because you're German. That friend replied she wasn't offended. I spoke up, well, I might be offended because I'm Jewish. I got up to leave with my stuff and the girl said, she's going back to Auschwitz.
No.
My friend, the bride, everyone laughed. I went outside and I cried. They saw me from the window when they all came to eat food. Not a single one of my quote-unquote friends came to check on me. The vibes continued along that line, and I felt like I was in the Jewish / Asian version of Get Out, stuck in a giant home with a bunch of racist white people. But honestly, the fear from it wasn't the worst part. It was that not a single one of my friends said anything. Mm-hmm. I was then in a 4-hour car ride with friends / bridesmaids on the way home. She spent the last hour of it lecturing me about how she's someone who can be cordial around people she doesn't agree with, but not everyone has that skill, especially when it's personal. And that I need to put myself in other people's shoes and see that they have positive intentions and more.
What the hell?
For context, this cabin was 4 hours away, and I have a pretty moderate disability. I was using 110% of my energy for this and had no energy left by the end of it. I pushed myself to extremes for these friends and the bride, and it was reciprocated with laughing at anti-Semitic jokes at my expense. The wedding is next weekend. I can barely see from the migraine I have, and my legs are struggling with walking. I don't feel it's worth it to hurt myself for someone who couldn't bother to stand up for me or even check on me after. All my friends of color agree with me, but this was my high school friend group. I grew up in a very white town.
Oh, yeah.
And I also feel guilty like I'm letting them down.
No,
I'm not quite sure
them.
what to do, so Reddit, please help me out. Okay, so the first edit that she put in the middle. Edit because I need to be precise. People did say thank you, including the bride. They said the setup was very pretty. It was the reaction to the food by some of them, family of the groom, who also made the Auschwitz jokes, that I was describing. That being said, almost nobody spoke during the tea party portion and blamed it on being tired. The bride and friends did not say anything about the reactions of the other girls. The main feedback I got is that I was clearly a witch because my tea put everyone to sleep.
Oh my god.
It was a hibiscus rose mint in calamansi.
Okay.
Another edit. I was a history major, which makes this whole thing even worse. So I have to add context that I didn't realize I missed until the comments. Number 1. The friend in the car is the friend who said she wasn't offended by the Holocaust jokes to the person she was asked by the jokester because she's German and lives in Germany. and lives in Germany.
She should know better then.
I thought it was just a white person being like, I'm German.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
That's horrible. In the car, she did say that she is absolutely against the concentration camp joke, and that she feels guilty that she didn't say anything. The words "I'm sorry" never came out of her mouth, though.
Then why is she complaining at you for saying something?
Yeah, exactly. And she's not sorry. But then I brought up the other stuff with the food and racist comments, and that's when she went on that tangent.
Oh.
She also said she saw the racism, but told me in those situations you just have to ignore it and choose not to be
easy
around
for
those
you to
people
say, white
again.
girl.
As she knew there was racism happening, including towards me, and didn't say anything or check in on me, I will be choosing not to be around her again. I also told her repeatedly that I didn't want to talk about this now because I was so physically done, and she said, "This is my car and I am driving. I don't want to be uncomfortable and have this tension here. We are talking. I have a vocal cord disorder, and my speaking is limited, so I didn't say much. And I didn't want to get dropped off on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. I told her she crossed a boundary she can't come back from, though." Number 2. The people making racist jokes were the siblings/cousins of the groom. My friends were the ones laughing along and not saying anything. Number 3. I have been long distance with these friends since high school. The friend in the car with me was in a social justice club with me in high school.
Oh, they're a piece of shit.
There were not signs of this behavior before from either this friend or the bride. In fact, the bride went with me to an anti-ICE fundraiser party earlier this year, and we had a lot of fun. I have never been shy with my opinions, especially as someone who studied history. This was the first time I was hanging with them around a bunch of other people. In reviewing these comments, I have realized that they may not be racist when with me before, but didn't stop or say anything about racism when it happened, which is in fact racism.
Yes.
That is a key difference. I am also more white than not. I am ethically Jewish, but not religiously. I often don't feel like I have a right to be upset about these things. You do.
Yes.
Even if you weren't Jewish,
yes, that's a horrible thing to joke to
but
me.
especially because you're Jewish,
yes.
you do. I often don't feel like I have a right to be upset about these things because other families have gone through worse. That's something I'm working to unlearn, and this was definitely some exposure therapy to that. Number 4, why didn't I say anything at the party? Because I was in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by drunk people making racist comments at me.
Mm-hmm.
I have survived violence before and know that sometimes keeping your mouth shut is what needs to happen until you're in a safe space. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. That's how people get lynched. Not saying that's their fault if they were, but I'm saying, Ugh. Number 5. Lastly, I will not be going to the wedding. Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get off screens because my head is killing me, but your comments and support helped settle me emotionally. I will decide tomorrow how I will inform the bride. Edit. My update post was removed, so here it is. I am very lucky to live in a much more diverse place now with a Filipino market less than a mile away. I bought frozen lumpia and pre-made baked goods, ensaimadas, mango buns, and these little panda pudding cakes, alongside ube sugar sticks and sky flakes. The cooking was frying the lumpia and setting up all the plates, so I can't claim to have made it from scratch. Still, you had to make it. The cheese and meat with the sky flakes was generously donated from leftovers from the night before. I spent all my time hand decorating the tea set. Number 2. One of the comments on my post said I wasn't looking for advice but validation. That was partially correct. Getting told I'm the problem for an hour on the car ride home by someone I've known for 10 years and who organized political campaigns with me in high school fucked me up. I felt crazy, and when I got home, I made this post to try and see if I was being overly sensitive. I appreciated all the responses because it helped me realize I wasn't being dramatic or sensitive. I had a valid reaction to being told I was leaving to go to the concentration camp my ancestral people were genocided in, and my friends laughing along and saying nothing to me. Number 3, for the real update. I sent this message to the bride. Hi, bride. I have thought long and hard about how to say this. I will not be attending your wedding. I could have said it's because I'm sick, which isn't untrue. I spent the last night with the migraine so bad I couldn't stop vomiting. That is awful.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be the full truth, and as I considered you a near and dear friend, I owe you the truth. The truth is, I was subjected to hatred and bigotry this weekend, and nobody said anything or checked on me. I pushed my body past the limit for this, spent weeks hand decorating your tea set because I care so much for you. To see that reciprocated with laughter when I was told to go back to Auschwitz devastated me. That entire weekend felt like I was in a Jewish/Asian version of a Jordan Peele movie. I pored over this decision. I even made a Reddit post because I couldn't tell if what I was feeling was right or if I just needed to suck it up. The comments helped me stand true to my feelings. I have simply reached a point in my life where my boundaries are clear and the line has been crossed. I will not harm myself and my body for a group of people that laughed as I was harmed. I still truly wish you the best. You can see the post here, and then she linked the post. I did not get a response. She has since blocked me on Instagram, likely on phone too, but I haven't texted again to check. Her just blocking me without saying anything hurt the most, especially I was putting so much effort and pushing my body so far out of love for her. I invited her into my community, organizing spaces earlier this year, thinking she was an ally. But at least I know now where she stands when it comes to the Holocaust and everything else. I simply just need to grieve now. Number 4. To the wedding group chat, I sent this. I thought a lot about what/if to say, but I don't think there's anything I can say that the comments didn't. Link to post. I then left the group chat. I've been blocked by both the bride and maid of honor.
Oh my god.
Car friend was blocked by me on both WhatsApp and Instagram, but did not block me first, at least on Instagram, no idea for WhatsApp. It all feels like I'm back at my 95% white high school. The racism, the bullying, the blocking, all of it.
Yeah.
I've grown out of that, and I'm glad to have found many new friends in my current community who were there to support me amongst all of this. If you're reading this, appreciate your chit-chat, especially my plant gremlins. I almost didn't make an update, but a friend told me the Reddit gremlins must be fed. Yes. And I asked why I feel I owe the wedding party the comfort of leaving it alone when they made me so uncomfortable for days because of my ethnicities. Fair enough. I learned the ASL sign, petty bitch, before this weekend for a reason. 2 of the other bridesmaids that were friends of the bride and didn't know anyone else at the party reached out to me individually to apologize for not saying anything. That they didn't see it target me specifically and that they respected my decision. If you're reading this, thank you. I let them know I appreciated them reaching out and that I understood why they wouldn't say anything in a house full of strangers in the middle of nowhere. It shouldn't be on them to stand up for a stranger when the people in charge of the bachelorette are supposed to be my friends. To be entirely honest, this friend group has been dying for months, if not longer, with only the wedding really keeping it together. At least they gave me a clean cut.
I got that vibe.
I'll be enjoying my next weekend of rest. And if any of you in the wedding are reading this post thinking I'm an asshole for making it public, maybe you're right. But if you know what it's bad to be seen publicly, why would you say it or laugh at it in private? And over 1,500 people commented you were racist, so they're also probably right too. Another edit. I forgot to mention something I had remembered about Car Friend, the one that was...
Yeah, in the car with her.
In the car, she said, I didn't know you were Jewish, as if she needs to know I'm Jewish for it to be wrong.
Yeah,
Yet the day before, when someone made a joke about the food being kosher and whether it was kosher or halal for Jewish people, and I said it was kosher, that friend told the group she would know because she's Jewish. I don't know if she said it in a mocking tone. She would know because she's Jewish. So the group and this friend did in fact know I was Jewish before making and or laughing at the big Holocaust jokes. And I was straight up gaslit. Just needed to add this because fuck that.
That's someone who's like, fuck, I'm in these, like, groups that I can't stand, or I have to stand up for this shit, and I'm actively covering it up. So I have to deal with my guilt by being like, I didn't know you were even Jewish. As if that changes what the situation was.
No, literally.
Like, there's no scenario where that's funny.
No, that is so fucked up.
Oh my god, that is...
I'm glad you got out of there, and you have a community that fully supports you for
I truly feel like it is a very common thing for majority white friend groups that are, in general, like, more, like, leftist.
Yes.
As they grow up to stop giving a shit because they start surrounding themselves with people who are more conservative and
Yeah.
they almost like, I don't know how, like, desensitize themselves to it,
Mhm.
and so then it doesn't matter anymore.
And I want to comment because she made this in like the second comment or whatever, about the two people that like didn't know anyone really well,
Yeah.
and so like they didn't speak out at the time, but apologized later. She was like, "Thank you."
Mm-hmm.
I disagree because, I mean, that's your feelings. That's, you know, you.
Mhm.
That's obviously.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. No. I understand.
But she said she was the only person that wasn't white, so I have to assume those people
We're white.
were white.
So they were more safe to be able to say it.
So
They were in a position where
I'm sorry, like, there's no excuse unless it, like, because was it just the Bachelorette? Bless you.
No, yeah, I think so.
It's a little different if it's a room full of men, maybe. I can see that. But still, I think as a white person, we have to stand up to that
Yes.
and be the quote unquote front lines because we will not get hurt like the people of our friends,
yes.
people of color are.
Yes.
Not
And
friends
honestly,
as in only the people that
truly,
are friends with you. I mean
even-
everyone.
Even one person having the balls to defend her could have been enough to
We'll
make
make
everyone
it break
be like,
down. I'm so sorry. Yes.
yes.
Or be like, that's weird. Why would you say that? Yeah, especially if all of them that disagreed, however many people, like at least two, were like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, whatever. Like, no, they should have. Not especially because any fellow human, but I'm like, women of color need to stop taking the brunt of progress and change.
Yes.
White women need to stand up for
Yeah.
every woman.
Yeah.
God, especially those that are vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like, so I'm so happy that you have support around you.
And I'm
your
glad that you stood up
community,
for
and
yourself.
yes, that you stood up for yourself and that you made it safely out of there.
Mm-hmm.
That is so scary.
Shitty.
Yes.
Evil. Ugh.
Okay, well,
That was our
That's-
episode of Wedding Drama.
yeah.
I hope you guys liked it.
I don't know what we're gonna be doing next. It's a surprise.
Yes.
Do we want to say what it's between?
Yeah.
It's either gonna be between
Bad parenting
or lies. Thank you for listening to High Cognition.
Bye.
Bye, guys.